Hello, everyone, and welcome to Para Besties, where we discuss all things spooky, paranormal, conspiracy, all the fun things to get lost in. And if that sounds like something you're interested in, then please go ahead and like and subscribe and stick around and become a Para Bestie. Get it? You get it now, don't you? Please keep in mind that this video is for entertainment and information purposes only. You do not have to believe everything that I believe in, and I don't have to believe everything that you believe in. But we can always have a fun and respectful conversation around these cool topics. Without further ado, let's get into this video. In the dead of night, under the cold glow of the full moon, something stalks the shadows. Is it a beast of ancient legend or a cryptid that stalks the nightmares? What if I told you that the legend of werewolves goes back thousands of years and the Dogman might be more than just a cryptid? Tonight, we uncover the truth behind the Dogman and the Werewolf. Stories from Greece, Germany, and France speak of shapeshifters doomed to transform during the full moon, often as punishment for a sin, a deal with the devil, or the curse of a bite. But Dogman? That's a different story. Unlike the werewolf, Dogman doesn't shapeshift. Reports describe a tall, bipedal creature, part man, part dog, spotted primarily in the woods of North America. From ancient Egyptian gods to medieval werewolf trials, let's explore the history of these ancient creatures and their shocking connections. Werewolves are deeply woven into the folklore and myth, symbols of the beast within, often linked to curses, witchcraft, and the full moon. They bleed like humans and can be killed like them, if you've got silver, that is. Dogman, on the other hand, is treated more like a cryptid, like Bigfoot or Mothman. Witnesses say it has glowing eyes, a canine snout, and claws. But unlike a werewolf, it doesn't transform. It just is. One could argue the sightings of Dogman of the past are what created the legend of the werewolf. With that in mind, let's discuss some accounts of werewolves or dogmen from ancient texts. Some speculate that werewolves and dogmen are time travelers or interdimensional travelers. The Egyptian god Anubis, believed to have the body of a man and the head of a wolf, is one of the reasons this is believed. If you're familiar with the idea of ancient aliens coming down and assisting the Egyptians with their civilization, then you can see how this isn't too far of a leap to make. There are even records of, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of a lot of these words here because I'm not actually a historian. You can get at me in the comments if you want to, but there are records of the cynocephaly or cynocephaly, the dog-headed men of ancient Greece and Rome. Even in Norse mythology, there are records of the Norse berserkers or the Ulfhednir, translating to wolf warriors. These were warriors believed to transform into wolves in battle. Perhaps the warriors were able to get into werewolf-like state trances during rituals. In medieval Europe, legends of werewolves are widespread. France, Germany, Scandinavia, stories describing people infected or cursed with lycanthropy, similar to modern day myths. And here in America, the Navajos have the legend of the, I know I'm not supposed to say it, but I'll say it because I'm not scared, skinwalkers. In the Navajo legend, a skinwalker is a shaman who, through ritual, usually involving the horrific act like unaliving a family member, can transform into animals, including wolves or coyotes. In a connection to France, and I'm going to butcher the way this is said, there's the Rougarou or Rougarou or Rougarou, found in Louisiana and French-speaking Canada, a werewolf-like creature said to stalk swamps and forests. Similar to the classic werewolf lore, it said that the Rougarou can curse others, spreading lycanthropy through a bite. Fun side story. I'm Azorian. My parents are from the Azores, which are like islands connected to Portugal. And when I was younger, we're known to be a hairy people. We just are. We women are hairy. It's not always PCOS for us. It's just genetics. We're hairy ladies. And when I was younger, I would get teased on the playground because of how hairy I was. And thanks to these bad boys, I would chase them around and tell them that I was a werewolf, and I would bite them to turn them as hairy as me. You know, you gotta like take your battles and twist them to make them positive. But anyway, I digress. Embarrassing. Now, I know this video is not about Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti, whatever you want to call it, Nessie from the Loch Ness, or the Mothman, Jersey Devil, but what of all these have in common is that they're cryptids. Some cryptozoologists believe dogmen could be surviving species of prehistoric wolf-like humanoids. Ancient legends of cynocephaly and werewolves may be memories of real creatures that lived alongside humans. Now, before I lose you on that thought, have you heard of the Appalachian Mountains? Appalachia, however it's supposed to be pronounced. Did you know they're the oldest mountain range? Like, here before the Earth was its current layout old, Pangea old. And if you clicked on this video, then most likely you've heard of the lore surrounding those mountains. For me personally, it's not that hard to believe that some memory of something that roamed here before could be passed down generation to generation. Maybe as a warning, maybe it was just masks from warriors that were pretty convincing. Similar to the theory of Bigfoot, some believe that Dogman is an entity that can phase in and out between dimensions, explaining why they are seen but rarely caught. Some ancient grimoires speak of shape-shifting rituals, and who's to say that they're not still being practiced to this day? And in my personal opinion, even scarier than witchcraft or not too far from secret societies, some conspiracists theorize that dogmen are the result of military genetic experiments, possibly conducted at secret labs like Area 51, or I think it's pronounced Dulce Base or Dulce Base. We've covered a lot of the old ancient tales, but don't let that fool you. More recent sightings have been made. In 1972, there was a tale of the Defiance werewolf in Ohio. Reports were coming in of a bipedal wolfman wielding a club attacking railroad workers. Witnesses claimed it had dark fur, glowing eyes, and incredible speed. I have a big dog. He's got wolf-like bodies, and he's quick, so I can only imagine. Despite police investigation, no real explanation was found. And I know to some that's proof that it wasn't real, but to me that's just proof that they're good at hiding. The Michigan Dogman was first sighted in 1887. However, they continue to be present. First sighted by lumberjacks in Wexford County, Michigan. They described a tall, dog-headed creature walking on two legs. Sightings started flowing in afterwards, particularly around the Manistee National Forest. I might have to make a camping trip up there soon. It regained popularity in 1987 when DJ Steve Cook released a song called The Legend, based on alleged reports. That's when reports started flowing in again, people claiming to see a canine creature with glowing eyes. Perhaps you've heard of the beast of Bray Road, first sighted in Wisconsin, 1936 until present. Sightings of a werewolf-like beast on or around Bray Road near Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Many sightings occurred in the 1980s into the 1990s, which led to documentaries and investigations where people claiming to see a 7-foot-tall, bipedal wolf-like creature with glowing eyes and extreme speed. Some believe it to be a dogman, while others say it resembles a shapeshifter or even a demonic entity. I guess we'll just have to go and see for ourselves. The last sighting I wanted to discuss was a personal one to me. Now listen, I'm a 35-year-old woman. I am very comfortable in who I am today. I have reached that age and level of me that I know who I am, and I could give two craps what anybody else thinks of me. So you're gonna think I'm crazy, and I'm okay with that. In saying that, it was my junior year in high school, and I had a really great group of girlfriends. We were theater kids and we were dramatic, eclectic. One of my friends had horses, and she kept her horses in stable. Across from that was a cemetery, an old historic cemetery. It had the historic plaque outside of it and everything. And we would sometimes, being young and dumb, take a Ouija board out there and we would try and communicate. One time we did think that we got something, but to this day, no one's sure if it was just the other person being silly or if we really found something. I know I wasn't goofing around anytime. I took my supernatural very seriously. But that day, we decided to take the Ouija board, and I can't remember if this is the day when we made that contact or not, but we decided to go and play and see if we could. And we liked to read the headstones and clean them if they were dirty, and we were respectful. We didn't bring trash or anything. We mainly just wanted to go see if we could get contact with anyone. And at the end of this session, everybody was back in the car except for me and one other friend. And we were cleaning up and just doing a double take using the car headlights, because of course we did it at nighttime. And we were just making sure that we picked up everything and left nothing behind. You leave somewhere cleaner than when you arrived, okay? That's a good rule to keep. But out of nowhere, I can't speak for my friend past what she verbally told me, but I heard a weird like branch breaking noise that sounded too big to be just a smaller animal like a raccoon or a squirrel or a possum. So I look over, and when I look over, I realize that it wasn't a thick bush of trees that the cemetery was. Like the trees were more where the acres were for the horses. This was just like a little bit of trees that you could kind of see through. It wasn't too thick, and further back you could see headlights of a road way down the way. But I noticed that the shadows in the tree looked a little different. And I thought perhaps it was just my eyes playing tricks on me, or I was ramped up from the reading. So I was like, or not the reading, the Ouija board session. So maybe I was just a little excited and making something out of nothing. But then the shadow moved. And my friend looked over and saw it. And I said, "Did you see that?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "We need to get out of here." So we jet back to the car, and it wasn't that far. We were all of maybe like 5 feet from the car when we noticed it. So we get in the car, we yell at the driver, "Go, go, go, go." And she pulls out. As she's pulling out, the way she does, the car basically hits all of the treeway. So she's pulling out and it hits, and I see, couldn't have been shorter than 6 feet. It was very tall, and it what I called a werewolf back then, but under research I now realize was probably a dogman, because it's more realistic to come across one of those than a werewolf. But I saw with my own two eyes a bipedal dog-like creature. Its eyes glue, and they glue yellow. They glue yellow in the light of the car, but that's like very animalistic for most animals. That part didn't scare me. It was the stature and the fact that when it was moving, it was on its two hind legs. It was not using its forward legs. I didn't get a close enough look to see if it had hands instead of paws or anything like that. All I saw was that it was moving and there was a tail attached. And we screamed and we got the heck out of there. And we did not go back to that cemetery for a few months, but we were young and dumb. So we did decide to go back, and we never saw it again. We never saw anything like that. Now that I'm older and a little spookier, I would love to go back the next day and see if there were tracks or anything like that. But alas, until I come across my next cryptid. I'm not here to convince you of anything. Absolutely. Not whatsoever. I just know what I saw with my own two eyes. So, who would win in a showdown? The cursed soul of the werewolf, driven mad by the moon? Or the primal predator known as the Dogman, cold, calculating, and always watching? Or perhaps one is simply a fairy tale and the other a cryptid that we haven't quite gotten our hands on yet. Definitely drop a comment down below on what you think or believe, or if you have had any sightings. It doesn't have to be paranormal. It can be anything. I would love to read them. And if you'd like me to share any story, any paranormal experience, whether it be sighting of a cryptid or haunting in your childhood home, which, yes, I had that too, or anything along the line, please go ahead and send it to parabestiesyt@gmail.com. I'm also going to have that listed down below. I've put it on the screen for you. I would love to read it. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and become a parabestie. I know it's corny, but I think it's just such a cute play on words. Come be my bestie in the paranormal world. And don't forget, always remember to keep your eyes on the wolves. Until next time, bye.